Welcome back to the Flying Trout podcast. Uh, my name is Braden Evans, and if this is kind of your first time here, I wanted to just kind of take a chance and welcome you. I mean, I've been kind of shocked over the past week. We've gotten like 200 more followers on TikTok and seen a lot of growth on socials, and so I think that's just been super fun for me. Like it's still not like a huge account or anything like that, but it's been a lot of fun to see a lot of those people start to flow in. So if it's your first time here listening to the podcast, I just wanted to say thank you. It is absolutely awesome to me to be able to talk to a camera about fishing and somebody actually take a listen. But with all that newness, I figured it'd be a good chance for me to kind of reintroduce myself for those of you who don't know me. And then today we're actually just going to read kind of like a creative piece that I wrote a little while back. It's one of my favorites I've written, and I just wanted to share that with you. So today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit sweeter, but just kind of sharing some stories on the water. So if it is your first time here, my name is Braden Evans, and I'm just kind of a guy that loves being outside, whether it's fishing for trout or hunting or hiking, camping, all these things. That's really what I'm passionate about in life and really what I love. And so flying trout is kind of the I don't know, culmination of all of those things. Like I love to fish, I love to write, I love to hunt, I love to be outside, and I wanted to share that with people. And even if it's just one person, then that's fine with me. So um, we've got social media stuff. So we've got TikTok and Instagram. We've got YouTube that I'm still trying to kind of figure my way out around. But like my main thing that I love to do is I love to write. I love writing stories and talking about my time on the water and doing all these things. And so that's really where I started. I made a little kind of web page blog thing, really just more so for me to post that out and the things that I was already writing, put that on there. And that kind of cascaded into, okay, cool, I want to share this with other people. And so how can I do that? Well, podcast format is kind of the natural choice for that. So here we are, the Flying Trout podcast. This is going to be episode 9. Um, I've also been having a lot of questions from a lot of people about how they can support this kind of project and everything that I'm doing. And honestly, the number one way you guys can support is just through engagement on social media. That's like the name of the game is, likes, comments, shares, all those things. So if you're, a dear friend or family member of mine, or if I've never met you, it would mean the world to me if you shared anything that I share on social or on the podcast, or if you commented, left a question. I would love for that to just be an open conversation with us all. And just kind of create a nice, awesome, not even just fishing, but just a community of people who love the outdoors. I'd love for this to, if it's writing stories about fishing or hunting or camping, getting away from fishing and getting more into those other things outdoors. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on those too. So that's kind of what this whole project is about and kind of who I am, I guess, just a little bit. So we've got 8 episodes up already, all of them pretty well centered around fishing and tactics and all these things. But I'm kind of thinking about expanding us into, some more things. Like I'm trying to pick up big game hunting. I'll be doing my first elk hunt this year, and so maybe talking about that a little bit more. One of my biggest passions in life is camping and sleeping out under the stars and doing all those things. So maybe it's talking about those more. I don't really know. But I do know that I love sharing this information with you guys. I've loved some of the engagement that we've gotten. We've had an awesome conversations, especially in some of the Facebook groups about, water temperatures for fishing and all these cool things. And that was one of the most rewarding things for me. So keep a lot of those questions coming in. And if you're new here, welcome. And I guess we'll get into it. So it's going to be a little bit shorter podcast today. I really wanted to start sharing some of the more creative pieces I've written that aren't really focused around tactics in that conversation, but really just more so some experiences out there. And so this is going to be that. So if you never fished before or anything, this might be more of an episode for you. And I hope you guys like it. So this article, this one is called In the Dance of Water and Wind. For me, fly fishing has always been a spiritual experience, a way to connect with and worship the world around me. Late August in the Big Thompson Canyon is the perfect place to spend a day losing myself in nature's wonders, the sounds of the river, and hopefully a few fish as well. As I pulled off the road, I found a quiet spot, untouched, peaceful, and solitary. Perfect. Stepping out of my car into the cool, early morning air, I closed my eyes. I took a deep breath and centered myself among the tall pines. The sun had yet to rise in the deep mountain valley, and only a sliver of light pierced the early morning dew. As night turned to day, I watched the fog rise from the river's surface, drifting upwards, casting shadows and mysteries along the banks of the still water. I stepped further into the crisp mountain air, feeling the chill against my skin as it sent a shiver down my back. Opening the back of the car, I grabbed my gearbox, slipped on my coat, and zipped it up. Next, I slid on my waders, the stocking feet fitting snugly as they settled into place. The satisfying click of my boots lacing up echoed in the quiet. I wiggled my toes, as always, to make sure they weren't too tight. I checked my vest, ensuring each pocket was filled with the tools for the day ahead. Finally, I connected the pieces of my fly rod, threading the line through the guides with careful precision, being careful not to miss a single one. I paused to select a fly, but hesitated. I decided to wait until I was on the river. I would let the stream tell me what I needed first. I ventured on, cutting through fallen timber and crunching leaves beneath my boots. The forest was waking up around me, birds tweeting high above, undoubtedly disgusting the intruder in their midst. Squirrels scurried, chattering and leaping from tree to tree like children playing in the yard. I took it all in, mesmerized by the life surrounding me. Suddenly, I heard the dull crunch of movement nearby. Behind a windblown tree, two antlers poked up from behind a moss-covered log. A deer was sneaking up on me. Our eyes met in quiet recognition. The buck sized me up, deciding I was no threat, and returned to foraging the forest floor. I watched for a moment before returning to my own task. The mission today was trout. I heard the river before I saw it. It was crashing over rocks with peaceful violence and a sound like a miniature avalanche. In places, the water bubbled and gurgled as currents crossed and mixed in the chaotic order of the mountain stream. I pushed through the trees and emerged to see my reward, a river cutting through the valley. Bathed in the first light of dawn, the water rippled over rocks. Insects skimmed across the surface, dancing in the flickering light, reflecting off the crystal clear water. I paused to take it all in. Insects began to hatch, emerging from the depths and taking to the air. Soon after, I saw trout rising, slurping at the surface, catching flies that broke free from their nymphal shells. I considered the transformation, life and death occurring simultaneously, and the metaphors it could teach us. But my thoughts were interrupted as one of these insects landed on my hand, reminding me of my purpose. Trout. Another lesson from the river, fleeting and elusive. I examined the bugs, a size 16 to 18 blue-winged olive, a perfect match for what I was hoping for. I tied on a tan parachute, stepped into the icy water, and waded through the rising trout. I felt the weight of the line soar through the air, landing gently on the surface of the stream. Back and forth I cast, the rhythmic dance of the fly fisherman. A tempo shaped by years of practice and countless failures. My line flowed downstream, gliding over ripples, scraping past rocks, the bright green of the water contrasting with the dark brown of the riverbed. The surface broke with a splash, and my fly was taken. The line tightened in my hand. Fish on, I whispered to myself. The trout leapt from the water, sending droplets flying and breaking the stillness of the morning. Using my right index and middle fingers, I secured the line, keeping it tight as the fish thrashed, trying to break free. It swam downstream, but I angled my rod to steer it back upstream. The fish slowed, exhausted by the effort, and I took the opportunity to strip line through my hands, inching it closer. The trout finally submitted. Coming near my feet, I grabbed for my net as it shook one last time, but I pulled it in and scooped the fish up. I marveled at the beauty of the German speckled trout, its brown and orange hues swirling together, dark spots dotted along its back. Cold mountain water rushed over my hands, as I removed the hook, studying the fish before gently releasing it back into the river. The trout lingered for a moment in my hands before slicing through the water, returning to the cool stream it called home. As I stood there, the peace of the moment settled over me, the balance of life still all around me, reminding me of nature's majesty. I placed my net back in its holder, settled my feet, and began casting again. On to the next. So that's In the Dance of Water and Wind. Again, not a lot of technical or tactic stuff to take out of this one, but one of my favorite pieces from just a day on the water. And if you like things like that and you want to hear more of those, I'd love to hear from you guys. See if that's something that you guys want to hear a little bit more, and I'll definitely start talking about that. I don't think you guys will be able to get me to shut up about some of the tactics and things like that of fishing, hunting, all that sort of stuff, and the gear that I take out there. But I do love sharing some of these technical pieces or these less technical pieces, and just focusing on what life out there is all about. So, like I said, if you guys want to support this this podcast or anything we're doing on flying trout, a like, a share, a comment, those things go way further than you can even imagine. So please, please, please like, share, get it out there, and let us know what you think. Send in your questions, and we'll see you in the next one for episode 10. Y'all have a great week, or a great couple of weeks, because we'll do every other week. And we'll see you out there. Fish well, friends.